Welcome to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. The madness of March is not quite here, but it feels like it this final week of February with the tournaments in full swing now for both men's and women's basketball, on top of women's hockey advancing in their conference tournament semifinals. We have a trio of guests this week, and we start with women's basketball and being joined by junior guard Ava Booth. My name is Matt Medal. Thanks for joining us. Let's talk women's basketball. And you guys are coming off that senior day victory against Edgewood on Saturday. Where do you feel like your team's at right now going into the tournament?
Yeah, we're at a great spot. Lots of confidence. We're excited to get this next week rolling. Great win on Saturday. Just putting a full game together and executing the game, and then also just being able to celebrate those seniors is always fun before going into the tournament.
Obviously, you've been through a couple of other seasons, but you look at this campaign, and you guys were challenged in the non-conference, now into conference play, a great deal of success. Do you like the progress this team has made from day one to now?
Yeah, it's been a true journey of excitement. We started out a little rough, but that's what's prepared us for this time coming up, and those games have really challenged us and pushed us to now, we're ready to roll against teams here and getting going in the conference tournament.
Yeah, right now, the Falcons, you look at their record, 13 victories and 12 defeats, have won 5 of their last 6, went 12-4 in conference play. And mind you, a team predicted 6th during the preseason, finishing in 3rd. Did you guys put a lot of stock in that preseason poll?
Yeah, we were a little frustrated with that. We're better than that, and we proved that, and we came out strong. We took care of business in conference, and we're proud to say we're 3rd, and we're going to keep on growing here in this conference tournament.
And there's no place like home here inside the John Book Fieldhouse, where the team compiled a record of 6 victories and 4 defeats. What's it like to play here inside this venue? Obviously, it's been renovated, but certainly a home court advantage.
Yeah, we absolutely love it. We practice here every day, and just being able to play at home for our fans and just for us teammates playing for each other is just such a great feeling.
Let's go back to Saturday, obviously a bounce-back outcome for the Falcons after a tough loss against Wisconsin Lutheran. You guys knocked off Edgewood on senior day by a 56-48 final. What was the difference in that win?
We just took care of business. We rebounded. We had an aggressive mindset, like we do have every game, but more so just punching first and going at them. And they came at us a little bit in the second half, but our team has such great composure with the ebbs and flows of the game, and there's always that in basketball. And so we're just always level-headed, and we did really well taking care of that.
Yeah, great bounce back after falling against Edgewood the first time around. You had a big-time performance. What worked for you on Saturday?
Just confidence. Coach is always preaching in us. Just play with confidence. You're at home. You're here for your fans, and, playing for each other, and, seniors, just getting that win for them and just being overall confident in play and going from there.
And a big deal when you look at seeding. You could have gone one way or the other, and getting the opportunity now to host a NAC tournament quarterfinal coming up tonight at 7 p.m. against the MSOE Raiders. Let's talk about MSOE. You guys have seen them once already. That was back on January 22nd in Milwaukee. Came over with a 58-43 victory. What do you expect from MSOE?
Yeah, they're going to be aggressive. It's tournament play. It's a whole different ball game, but just taking care of rebounding and being aggressive again, and just confidence, like we talked about, is going to be key.
All right, it's a 3-6 matchup, Falcons, MSOE. It's a blowout inside the John Book Fieldhouse. Ava, thanks for your time. All the best.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Now being joined by sophomore guard Casey Verhagen of the Falcons men's basketball team. They begin their NAC tournament journey. A quarterfinal here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. against Concordia Chicago, a 4-5 season matchup. But let's begin by just looking at how the regular season wrapped up. A tough loss against Wisconsin Lutheran, a big bounce back. Had Benedictine, your thoughts on the way the team played last week?
We gave ourselves an opportunity on Saturday. We bounced back from a very tough loss to WLC. We don't like to see that. The effort wasn't there, and just our togetherness was not there. But to be able to come back and have Logan back and kind of put things together was awesome for us. And I think taking that momentum and rolling with it in the playoffs here is something we really need to focus on and key in on here these 2 days of practice to get ready for Wednesday.
What was that mindset going into that matchup in Lisle, Illinois on Saturday, knowing that, depending on how that game turned out, you could either be here at home or you could be on the road, and who knows where you guys might end up seed-wise?
I think just getting an opportunity to play in front of these home fans gave us a reason to play in itself. Creating that energy and effort on the road on Saturday, and to be able to, go out and win by 20, which is something we haven't done much this season, was very key and essential for us. And I think that was something that we can use here on Wednesday to get this crowd rolling and get our team rolling to hopefully put some wins together here.
It's funny, the first time we had you on this week in Falcons Athletics, the team hadn't won a game yet. And I remember you saying, right into that camera, I just want to win. And this Falcons team right now has done that with 14 victories, 11 defeats, 11-7 in conference play. Good for fourth place. On top of the fact they've gone 7-2 here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. What has this regular season journey been like for you?
I think it's just been consistency, not getting too high, not getting too low. I think our team's been very great and not getting too low with the loss, obviously, against WLC. We didn't get too low and not getting too high, and using the couple wins and losses here to learn from our losses and also, learn from our wins and, see what we've been doing and implement these things and keep this thing rolling because it's playoff time and you never know what can happen.
Yeah, obviously one and done. And you look at your play, over 20 points per game of an average. Have you seen teams play you differently defensively as the season's gone on?
100%. That comes with, just playing on the court and getting an opportunity to, get up and down the floor and, put some wins together and put some things together here. But I think it's just utilizing my teammates, trusting my coaches, and going out there with a mindset of just getting the win. And I think that's most important here. Like I said earlier, is the comeback story has started. We're getting rolling, and it's playoff time. And there's nothing better than March. And obviously it's February, but it's March and it's playoff basketball, and we're really excited to get some wins here.
Yeah, the madness not here quite yet, but February frenzy here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. You've been an aggressive player. You find ways to get to the bucket time and time again. Has that always been a big part of your game, being aggressive but also trying to find ways to get the free throw line?
100%. Getting downhill and getting to the rim is something I've worked on my whole life, and something, why not get to the paint and score if you can? I think that's something I've put together here, and, teams are keying in on that, and I think it's also utilizing my teammates and utilizing the jump shot as well. I think that's something that I'm going to implement here and coming up these next couple games, and I think that's really important.
Let's wrap it up by talking about the matchup itself against Concordia Chicago. And do note, it will be a whiteout here inside the John Book Fieldhouse for the 7 o'clock tip-off on Wednesday. You guys have seen Concordia Chicago twice. Two completely different games. You look at New Year's Eve here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. That was a up and down, quick pace. Also at times a free throw shooting contest. You guys won 114-95. Played Concordia Chicago again from CIT. And Concordia Chicago left for the majority of what was a grinder of a game, but the Falcons prevailed 69-65. What do you take away from those two meetings?
They're a great team. They're high-paced, like you said. They try to go for steals and take advantage of transition. And we like transition offense as well, but we got to take care of the ball, number one. Number two is we just got to stick with our game plan. Playing a team 3 times isn't easy, but we're all for it, and we're looking forward to the matchup here. And I think a high-paced will be awesome for the fans as well. Just keep this thing rolling and utilize our ability.
You mentioned a couple of keys, but let me ask you a big picture. I know you take it one game at a time, but for this team to have success here in the tournament, for the Falcons to, make that run here this week, what needs to happen?
Like I said, consistency. Not staying too high, not getting too low. I think it's just finding ourselves, staying within ourselves, and competing, finding joy in that, and just going out every single opportunity we get and flying around because it's February frenzy, like you said.
Casey, I can't wait. Thanks for your time. All the best on Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in the recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question. Is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our number one focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Now shifting gears to women's hockey as the frenzy of February upon us, but the Madison March continues for the women's hockey team. They will play again coming up on March 1st in a conference tournament semifinal at Adrian's, the third time the Falcons have advanced to the semis in their program history in the conference tournament, and being joined by senior forward Natalie McCrell, kind of to join us after the quarterfinal series win over Marion this past weekend. Let's talk about Marion. You guys played them back-to-back weekends. How challenging was it seeing the same team game after game after game for 4 straight?
It definitely was a bit of a challenge. You have to just keep in mind that however one game goes doesn't mean the other ones are going to go like that. So just to keep the same mindset going throughout.
That certainly was the case in the quarterfinal round. Game 1 a lot different from game 2. We'll get to that in a second. But when you look at the way the team's playing right now, a program record, 20 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. What's been working for this team this season?
We have a lot of good team chemistry. We're really working together as our lines. We're really getting closer on and off the ice. So I think that helps a lot to know like where each other are and how we feel about what's going on.
Of course, you're one of the 11 seniors on this team. How do you feel like you've grown as a player from day one versus now?
I've definitely seen a lot of growth in myself through this team and through the program. So that's definitely helped me this year too, and some confidence.
And one of the big steps, you're in front of the camera right now.
Yeah.
You would never do this 3 or 4 years ago,
No,
but
I wouldn't have.
But you look at your play, and you've scored 11 goals this season with 9 assists. The 11 goals, that's tied for your career high for goals in a season, also accomplished during the 2022-23 campaign. What, I guess, personally for you has been working?
For me, it's just working well with my line mates. I mean, they give me a big confidence boost working with Michaela and Brooke. I've played with them now almost the entire year, also some of last year. So just I know where they are, and they know where I am.
And on Friday, you came through with a huge goal. Ended up being the game winner, knocking off Marion by the final score of 3-2. That came about 90 seconds into the third period. Describe that goal.
It was kind of like a surreal moment. It came off a face-off win that we had gone through that play literally in the locker room moments before that. And we saw the play that was lining up. We did it, and it just ended in a goal. So.
And you don't have to answer by saying it was that goal, but when you look at your career, is there 1 or 2 goals that stand out among the rest of your time with the Falcons?
There's definitely a couple I remember better than others, for sure.
But is there one that you say, like, that was, you know, if my career ends today, that's going to be the goal that I want to be remembered for?
That one's pretty special to me. I remember sophomore year in Eau Claire, I scored that one, and that was our first ranked win as a group together, so that one was pretty special to me too.
We'll talk about knocking off ranked teams because, again, you see Adrian again, a team you guys knocked off already once. But Game 2 on Saturday from the Ozaki Ice Center, you guys knocked off Marion by 7-0 final. Much different result from that of Friday. What was different on Saturday?
I guess that first game really gave us the confidence. We knew that we weren't coming from behind like we had in previous seasons in the semifinals or quarterfinals. So just to have that leg up on them, we knew that we just needed to play our game, and it resulted in that win for us.
So now it's on to the semis for the third time in program history, first time since 2021. Is there a sense of, obviously excitement, but is there some nerves, going on to this next round, knowing that, you have one game versus a best of 3, so it all is on the line on Saturday?
Yeah, it's something that, like, as a group, no one on our team has ever been to the semifinals, so there's definitely some nerves going into it, but I know we're just playing really good together as a group right now, so just to go into that with the same energy and try to get this job done as well.
First time you guys saw the Adrian Bulldogs, you go back to February 7th, February 8th, also in Michigan. You won the opener by a 1-0 score. The second game was a tough 3-2 setback in overtime, although the Falcons had a 2-0 advantage in that game. When you look back at that series, what stands out about Adrian? What do you expect from Adrian this weekend?
On our part, it was a big defensive weekend for us. We had a lot of block shots. Our goalie stood on her head, so I think this weekend we're just really got to focus on taking the shots when we have them and playing as a team in that defensive scenarios.
Well, Natalie, all the best to you and the team. Congrats on the victories this past weekend, and again, all the best on Saturday.
Thank you.
And a busy week as far as Falcons athletics go. Again, we mentioned not only is it a busy week for the hockey teams, the basketball teams, but also baseball gets underway, hoping weather permitting, in Waukesha against Carroll on Wednesday. They'll be in Arizona to start their spring break trip coming up on this weekend. You have men's lacrosse. They have a makeup date against Elmhurst, a makeup from the 12th of February before they visit North Central coming up on Saturday. Men's volleyball will be at Concordia, Chicago coming up on Friday. You also have men's and women's track and field at the NAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. That from Kenosha on Friday, Saturday. Men's and women's tennis has their spring break trip down in Orlando, Florida. Women's lacrosse, their spring break trip to Tennessee. They get started their season on Sunday against Spalding, on top of wrestling at the Upper Midwest Regionals Saturday and Sunday. We have no show next week, so stay tuned to CWFalcons.com for all of the spring break trip happenings. But we thank you for watching this trio of guests, a full-fledged week of Falcons athletics. It's been This Week in Falcons Athletics presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.